All right, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday night, everybody. Joe Quills here with you. Time for another edition of the Joe Quill Show as I get everything set up here because I had to tinker around a little bit and then I had to tinker some more and I had to tinker some more because for whatever reason, Evie Mux is being a hemorrhoid in my ass right now because, the sound drops weren't there. The, I had everything set up. I had the music set up. That opening tune that is not copyrighted, so I can use that without having to worry about getting DMCA'd, um, stuff like that. Um, so as a result, um, first I had to clear some space there because of video that's stored that I don't need. Anyways, it was a full moon the other day as well, so that may be it as well. But anyways, we're here. And we're going to get to it tonight. Welcome everybody on YouTube, on X, and on Twitch as we honor Jim Iser, right? Because I joke around saying because he used to Twitch like this all the time because he had Tourette's. But anyways, lots to talk about here, more than what I have here. That's why I put on there more because you never know what I'm going to add here because um, we're going to get into that breaking pop culture news that I got on my phone within the last hour. So we'll get to that. Um, Tom Brady names his top five MLB quarterbacks, or his top five NFL quarterbacks. MLB quarterbacks. That makes no sense. And by the way, since I changed some sound drops, I can do this to myself again. And sometimes this happens as well.
You could tell it was a huge start, so much power.
And then you realize. So, anyways, hope everybody's having a good night. And finally, I got the sound captured from the huge shark comment. Now I just need the Julie jerk off one, which I already have. But it's just I have to play around with the EV Mux because I only have so many slots here for sound drops until I get a sound drop thing. Um, but anyways, we'll get to it here tonight. So I'll tell you the breaking news, the breaking pop culture news, because we occasionally talk pop culture. It happens. Um, Tom Brady, his top five quarterbacks. Brian Flores responds to Tua from his interview with the Dan Levitard show yesterday. Going to add some college football. I saw two weird stories, and you know me, I'd rather have the weird stories than the bad stories. But we're gonna have fun here, and like we always do, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 9 o'clock, and we're gonna add Wednesdays next month. So be on the lookout for that, as we'll be going 4 nights a week. Uh, I also have a vacation coming up, but it is a staycation, so that means you'll get to see me fully rested, not having to deal with work. So we'll see what that'll be like as well. But let's get to it here. And oh, by the way, the Quills Picks winners. Last night we did get a winner. We had a 20-1 money morning line horse in Jesus Christ, I can't even remember the name. But yesterday we had a 20-1 shot morning line, and it was like 15-1 as they were going into the gate. You got bet down to 5-1. So I don't know if people are actually listening to me, but either way, um, the last race at Assiniboia, um, I will get you that name in a second here. Uh, J.L. Cooper, not the Mini Cooper. J.L. Cooper went gate to wire, paid $13.70 to win. If you bet $20, you get $137 back. I got half of that because I put $10 on my account because um, I mean, I'll let you in behind the curtain. It's just easy math when I fill in the spreadsheets every couple of days. So, and I also gave out the superfecta. So that superfecta paid $162.85 for a dime. So, or for 20 cents. So if you decided to dabble in the superfecta, you got even more bang for your buck. So hopefully you played that. Today was not so good. Tomorrow we'll get back at it. Uh, Looks like Saratoga, but there was a possibility I may dabble with a different track again. So we'll see what happens with that. So, anyways, let's get to it here, and let's get to the breaking news. And this was something that popped up on my phone. And yes, I have one other sound drop here that I can use right now. Breaking news from the world of pop culture and um, pop culture, Hollywood, Miami, wherever they are. Apparently, the Bennifer love story that first blossomed more than 2 decades ago has come to an end. And I'll add the word again. On Tuesday, Jennifer Lopez filed to divorce Ben Affleck in LA Superior Court. Okay, in California. Uh, yeah, because I was saying Hollywood, Miami, whatever. But um, today marked the second anniversary of the estranged couple's Georgia wedding ceremony. TMZ and Variety reported their date of separation as April 26th. So they had separated almost 4 months ago. They Lopez and Affleck were married twice. I'm sorry, they were engaged twice. First time they were engaged were in 2002, and then again in 2021. It was the second marriage for Affleck, the fourth for Jennifer Lopez. Lopez has more rings than the Dallas Cowboys. I can tell you that much. Um, Lopez filing comes after several months of fan and media speculation that she and Affleck started appearing in public solo. So, that's one of the things that the people that are more into pop culture than I am are in there. Um, the separate appearances happened while Lopez was reportedly filming Kiss of the Spider Woman in New Jersey, and Affleck was in Los Angeles filming The Accountant too. Oh, I'm sorry, the May 6th thing. May 6th, Met Gala, New York City. Affleck was absent as Lopez performed their duties as one of the event co-chairs. The night prior, Affleck appeared the greatest roast of all time, the roast of Tom Brady, in Los Angeles. Lopez did not seem to be in attendance. So the two hit it off in 2002 on the set of the rom-com Gigli, probably one of the worst movies ever made, according to some people I hear. When Lopez was married to her second husband, Chris Judd, that slut. Uh, Lopez and Affleck called off their engagement, blaming too much media attention in January 2004. The This Is Me Now singer went on to marry Mark Anthony later that year. That couple welcomed twins Max and Emmy in 2008. They divorced in 2014. Affleck married Jennifer Garner in 2005, and they had 3 children together: Violet, Finn, and Samuel. Those two divorced in 2018. March of 2019, Lopez got engaged to Alex Rodriguez, but they officially called it quits in April 2021. Um, Affleck and Lopez were spotted together several times during the. Here comes SJ starting her shit already. Uh, I gotta. I'll watch that. I'll watch that in a second here. Um, the PDA and all that, and uh, So they did get married. She said, "Love is beautiful, love is kind," and it turns out to be love is patient. 20 years patient. Blah blah blah. So there was speculation that things were bubbling, and that news broke earlier today. And I need to see what this is here. Uh, oh, okay. I see what you did, S. Shade. I do appreciate this. I know. I know what I said now. 1 second. And that's why SJ is my main moderator, because not only will she kick the crap out of somebody and kick them out of this chat real quick, she will also do a clip like that. And at least this time, I know what I said here. So it's like, okay. Whereas the previous time that she clipped me, and Gracie's got to take another shit. So, uh, but the previous time, I'm still trying to figure out why she clipped it. I'm guessing it's because my hands were all over the place, but I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm gonna ask a question, but I probably should wait till SJ comes back, because I want her opinion if if the roles were reversed and it's a man that's been engaged like 6 or 7 times, married 4 or 5 times. Uh, but she took the dog for a dump. So, so I don't know if she's actually. I don't know if she's actually watching while the dog is doing her business, but I will make a note here, because I'm not going to make a mental note. See if she's in the same boat. See if she thinks in the same boat as I have. So when she comes back, I will ask her that question. She can respond in chat. So, so, anyways, so we'll get back to that in a second. So, um, now last night we brought back the stupid shit I saw segment, and we're still going to call it stupid shit I saw. At least now, but when September comes around, when the Bleacher Brother Network um, comes back, I'm going to do all I can to not curse. So it's just a matter of, what happens if there's somebody professional and they say, you know what, I like this guy, needs a little work, needs a little work. Also has to stop thinking, you know, that your work is horrible when it isn't that bad, that sort of thing. So because Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, when it launches on Apple and on Android, and I believe there'll be a widget on the main page. We'll find out when the redesign takes place, because there's a redesign that's going to be involved as well. Um, there there is going to be a little more professionalism out of me, if that's possible. Uh, you know, and there's going to be the juvenile humor once in a while. And like I told SJ in a private chat, because she was asking me, what do I want to see with the show? And, I'm very open minded with this. If it's just something that's just something I do for fun, that great. But, if something happens where somebody says, "Hey, I like what you got here. What about this, this, and this?" Like, maybe doing sports radio. I'm okay with that. But, you know, I kind of miss my calling because, I am middle aged. SJ knows how old I am, and she'll add about 20, 30 years to that age probably. Uh, but, you know, I just want to be as professional as possible. Um, because you never know who's watching. I mean, when we were doing also eligible on Saturday, uh, AJ pointed out that Jeff DeForest, aka Defo, um, he popped into the chat, and I went, "Oh shit," because I knew who Defo was because he was doing shows with the Tony Bruno Sports Network, which AJ has another name for it. Um, and I think he was also doing some stuff with Angel Martinez's channel, which network, which changed names. So, and the thing is, I don't have any problems with anybody. I am going to, I am going to say that you never know when you go back to another network, even though I was never technically on that network. Well, basically, I guess you could say I was because also eligible began on there for a couple of weeks or whatever. But you know, that's why I will tell you as a career path thing for people that want to ask me questions. You know, I'm not going. Don't burn that bridge because you never know when roles are reversed and you're their boss, or you go back to them, or you go to another network, and oh, by the way, look who's interviewing you or who's your boss, that sort of thing. So as we get back to um, so let so when SJ comes back, so just let her know that. Um, so I did see something today. Actually, I saw two different things here, and while we're waiting for SJ, I want to point out something that I saw. First thing I want to point out is college football related. And this was on this is on a Facebook account called Second Take, and they found the picture from Sicko Committee on X, whatever they do, whatever. Apparently this year, UTSA, Texas San Antonio, they want to play all the teams that have a certain nickname. And if you see here, they have their 12 game schedule, and I will share that for you here. Apparently, Texas San Antonio this year has four teams named the Owls. Now, granted, three of them are conference games that you can't avoid. Well, you can probably avoid Temple once a year or Florida Atlantic, depending on how the rotation goes in the schedule. But they even added Kennesaw State for a non-conference game this year, so they're playing four FBS schools, four FBS schools with Owls as their school nickname. Now that is crazy. So that was something that I saw today. Somebody posted it, and I actually found Sika report uh, with this post, which was originally from um, Second Take on Facebook, and pretty interesting that they got 4 games against teams with uh, with the Owls as the name, and I mean, you can't help it. They have Florida Atlantic, who's the Owls, Temple the Owls, Rice the Owls, all in your conference. But they did add that Kennesaw State game, so I did see that today, and thought it was funny. And you occasionally have a conference like the SEC that has a couple of Bulldogs, a couple of Tigers, but I don't think we have a conference out there that has 3 of the same nickname for their schools. So that is something I saw today that was pretty funny. So um, so that was something interesting. Now the other story I found, I actually did share, and I have all kinds of questions with this one. So let me pull this up here. Um, um, Let me see here. Okay. Once again, Second Take um, was the Facebook account that I saw this on. This time I shared it to my Facebook, so I know what exactly happened here. But a lot of questions that I have here. So well, college football starts this weekend. You got 4 games here in week 0. You got Florida State and Georgia Tech playing in Dublin, and you got 3 other games that are on the slate on Saturday. You have Montana State and New Mexico, and Montana State's an 11-point favorite. That can't be right. I mean, Montana State's a top school, and New Mexico's dog shit. But um, I mean, that might get me playing this weekend. SMU plays Nevada, which is probably maybe the best matchup of the weekend. Well, maybe not. SMU's a 25.5-point favorite. And Delaware State goes to Hawaii, which is what I want to talk about here. So, Delaware State missed their flight to Hawaii for their game this weekend. Now, Delaware State is an FCS school, aka 1AA. And, some FBS schools, you play them, and you don't, sometimes you play those top schools because you're going to get a shitload of money. You go to Penn State, they're going to pay you $1 million, $2 million to be a punching bag. Or you go to, um, let's say, Michigan, uh, Iowa, New Mexico State has a game with somebody coming up, or actually, you're playing one of those top schools, one of the Power Four conferences. So they're going to Hawaii. Now, it's a 10.5-hour flight, first of all. And I have all kinds of questions with the way that this trip was planned. I don't know if I don't know if this was the cheapest commercial flight that they could get or whatever, but for whatever reason, Delaware State, which is in Dover, Delaware, across the street from Dover Downs, aka Dover International Speedway, they had the bus all the way up to New York to go to JFK to fly to Hawaii? Really? Because I can think of one, two, three, four that are closer than JFK. They could have flown out of BWI, which I have done in the past. Um, could fly out of Philadelphia. They could fly out of DC, probably still be closer than New York, and could fly out of Newark, even though Newark's a shit show from what I hear. But they went to JFK. Now, I don't know who planned this trip, but uh, SJ, I do have a question for you when I'm done this topic here. And she did not go. Yeah, I figured. So, for some reason, the way that the Delaware State Athletic Department planned this trip for Hawaii to play the University of Hawaii, which, mind you, doesn't have much money in their coffers because they're playing in a 9,000 seat stadium. Um, they're in a 9,000 seat stadium because of the fact that Aloha Stadium is unusable. So they're forced to play at this rinky dink stadium, just like what Northwestern is doing, playing on a practice field for 2 years. But but Hawaii's on like year 4 or 5 at the stadium because everything with the stadium and everything. But I just question when you have Baltimore closer to Dover, you have Philadelphia nearby, Washington maybe closer than to them than New York, but you're flying out of New York City and you get this bus problem. It doesn't make sense to me. So, but the team that was going to Hawaii was Delaware State. Um, they're it makes no sense. And also, if you do see an FCS game with Delaware State uh, next weekend, jump on Sacred Heart because Sacred Heart will be getting a team that had to fly 5 time zones back. Now, granted, they'll have the jet stream at their back, but uh, it just made 0 sense. I mean, it makes 0 sense why they to went all the way to New York to fly when you could have gone to BWI, you could have gone to DC, but you went to New York. But I don't know. But uh, little thing that I saw here. I saw that late this afternoon. SJ saw it a couple hours before me. Apparently, she grabbed that line immediately, and you know, I'm staying away from the game because knowing my luck, I'll play Hawaii minus 38.5, minus 39.5, minus 69.5, and they'll lose outright. That's my luck. But I do have a question for SJ. 39.5. Okay. So I have a question for SJ, and it's related to um, Jennifer Lopez and the news that she's getting divorced. Now, I am asking this question because I want to see if she's on the same boat as I am, except obviously things are reversed because she's female. Let's say you meet somebody and you find out that they've been engaged 6 or 7 times. They've been married 4 times. I mean, is this a damaged goods thing where you just say, "Nah, I don't want any parts of it"? I mean, even if it's, you know, the only 4 guys she's banged or 6, but there's more than that. But you know, Do you really get the feeling that if it was a guy that said, I was engaged 6 times, married 4 times, does this seem like a damaged goods thing where you want no parts of her? Or in your case, SJ, part of him, if it was a guy that had that record and had more rings than Dallas Cowboys? That's what I want to know because I want to see if we're on the same wavelength here. Okay, I'll ask the question to you as if okay, if you meet somebody and you find out whether it is you know, you meet somebody, and I guess she's laughing about meeting somebody, but whatever. Um, if you find out that that person was married 4 or 5 times, was engaged 6, 7, 8 times, or or at least your initial thoughts, man, he's damaged goods, and just change the pronouns for me when I answer it. Okay, so we're on the same wavelength here because, you know, um, yeah, deeper rooted. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, perfect point. And you know, and I'm sure one or two of my friends are like, "Yes, J Lo's single." Dude, you got no chance anyway because she's a celebrity and you ain't shit. But um, but just in general, married 4 times. You know, maybe one of them the wife died, but if it's something like divorce, 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 you just wonder if there's something in her head. Um, and SJ says, I've heard she's not nice from casino employees. Yeah, I can understand that because, sometimes celebrities, they get this don't you know who I am type attitude. And it's like, no, you don't act like that, because especially now in 2024, you know, I could just turn my phone on, hit the camera, and just tape SJ doing whatever. Um, and she does not let people look at her, which doesn't surprise me. And she probably says, "Take a look at my big ass," and because that thing has been insured for a couple $1 million, I believe. So, but yeah, she's she's probably a major head case, and part of the reason why I'd be very careful meeting celebrities, and God forbid I turn into a quasi celebrity. I just want to be the same person I am in real life. Just be that same person. Because the last thing you want to do is meet somebody and they turn to be a total asshole. And the reason why I say that is even though J Lo has a major track record, you know, I could be the nicest guy in the world, you know, giving the shirt off my back and stuff like that. You have a bad day, then all of a sudden everybody thinks you're an asshole. It's not, you know, just one bad day can change your how everybody perceives you like that. So, um, that's why, even when I was briefly management at my job, somebody did come up to me and I have no clue who it was. I think it was somebody that isn't there anymore. They did say to me, the one thing I do appreciate about you is you were the same person as when you were an associate. a union employee. You know, there was no personality change. There was no, uh, you know, no look who don't you know who I am, meaning the title. Because I'm not a person that believes in titles. You know, but I am the horse racing degenerate for Bleacher Brothers. That's a title I gave myself. But I just want to, more times than not, I just want to be Joe. I just want to be Joe. And you know, if you know, and if I'm out somewhere, I don't want SJ or Mike. Well, Mike, that's a different thing. He knows, but I don't want SJ or saying SJ or anybody who follows this channel saying, "Man, I thought this guy was cool. He's a real asshole." Or if SJ really got to know me, something's not right with Joe today. Um, and yes, I did talk to Mike today. Um, but once you really get to know me, you'll realize, you know what, Joe's just having a shitty day. And with me, once 7:30 hits and I log out for the night at my work computer, I'm a totally different person. But I just want to be a I just want to be a normal person, and if I turn out to be that person that, you know, I just don't want to deal with the false narratives and stuff like that. And I'm sure there is one person that had all kinds of false narratives with me and whatever, but whatever. But I think I proved that that person is also a nut job. So, but anyways, Braves are up 3-1 in the bottom of the eighth here. So it looks like the Phillies are going to get back a game here as Jose Alvarado has thrown 34 pitches in this eighth inning. So, but uh, but then but the one thing is, as I go back on topic here and away from the tangent, yeah, then I'm gonna have to deal with SJ. But anyways, um, so I got a couple of NFL updates here, and I already deal with her. Um, I haven't dealt with her in person yet. No, I'm like, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Uh, not in person, but like she says, it's the same thing, and I'm guessing it is the same thing in person. It's just that I'll be standing there like, "Hi." Nah, but seriously. Uh, and like she said, may have to look down 10 inches, but uh, but seriously. And Mike's texting me for some reason here. Oh, Mike just texted me. It was like, "Why Topper? Why?" Because he left Alvarado in the game apparently too long, and I said, wasn't paying attention. Paying attention. Showtime at the Switch Palo. Ooh, that's a good thing that I could use. But uh, you know, but I will look down 10 inches and I will see her and I'll say, "What's this in your hair?" or something like that, just to mess with her. But um, So so they did have a Fanatics Fest in New York City this past weekend, and Tom Brady was there, and he was asked who his top five NFL quarterbacks were, and he gave a definite top four, but he had his arm twisted for number five. So I'm going to go 4-1, even though he went 1-4. Number four, Joe Burrow. He said that it's really impressive with the way he throws the ball. Another guy who's got a great connection with his teammates. Number three, Lamar Jackson. Lamar always impresses me as a player. Got to get better analysis if you're going to be in that Fox booth this year. Josh Allen also impresses me as a player. Uh, um, Patrick Mahomes is number one, no surprise. Um, Putting Mahomes at the top of the list is the easy part with making this list. Brady didn't spend much time talking about the Chiefs quarterback, B, but did walk through the thought process with the rest of his rankings, which I just mentioned. Um, and I don't know who this Smith guy is because I'm trying to figure out who it was. Uh, duh, 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 duh. But whoever this Smith guy is that was interviewing um, Tom Brady, and by the way, is somebody who is a quasi journalist. You know, if you're going to mention a person's last name, if it's not Tagovailoa and it's something common like Smith, I think you want to preface earlier in the article that it is Joe Smith, Bill Smith, Sarah Smith, something like that. But I don't know who this Smith was. Um, so this Smith guy or person threw out Aaron Rodgers' name, and Brady said absolutely. But um, um, so Peyton Manning at the same event was asked about his top five. His top four were different order. I didn't get them, nor do I care. But he had Justin Herbert instead of Aaron Rodgers. So whether you talk to the Farhead, Peyton Manning, or you talk to Tom Brady, the deflator, you do have uh, four of the five that are there. So now the person that wrote this article, John Breach, this was on CBSSports.com. Um, Herbert would probably be considered the biggest snub, but you can also throw Brock Purdy or CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud needs another year. Um, Brock Purdy, maybe. But I was trying to think of NFC quarterbacks, and, I really don't think there is anybody in the NFC right now that is deserving of being mentioned as a potential number five position. Jordan Love, maybe, but he didn't have that great of a first half of the year. It was the second half where he came on. Um, I think at the Eagles, Jared Goff, maybe. Um, I would say if the Eagles didn't totally go into shitter last year, I would put Jalen Hurts up there. But so this is a bit of a hopefully it's a bounce back year for him. But yeah, I could see Jordan Love, Jared Goff. Um, and when you get an article like this, all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're thinking, "Holy shit, what do we do? Who is the top quarterback in the NFC?" I mean, is it that bad that it's Dak Prescott potentially? Even though Dak Prescott has come up small in January. I mean, Purdy, Matt Stafford, maybe, but he's old and brittle. Seattle, no. Arizona, no. Uh, Nobody in the South. Maybe Kirk Cousins if you really want to, but he's coming back from that Achilles tear as well. Uh, there is no standout in the NFC, whereas the AFC, they have all the top quarterbacks right now. So it'll be interesting to see um, what happens this year. Um, and SJ thinks Goff will have a good year. Yeah, but I think the devastation of blowing a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game, I think they may have a hangover this year. Now, granted, it's not like the Eagles with the Super Bowl hangover, but it took until week 12 to get it. Um, I really feel like that. We'll see if that is a bit of a hangover, but you do have a NFC North where you do have Green Bay, who's probably going to challenge Detroit for the division. Uh, I think Chicago needs a year. I mean, they got pieces, but Chicago's never really had a great quarterback. I mean, I remember a couple years ago when we were doing the opening night game uh, with me and Luigi Curto on his old show, Funk and Fantasy. Uh, he had a game where we played, you know, based on the parameters, make up this fantasy football team. And both of us had to take Green Bay quarterbacks. The running backs were Bears. The wide receivers were Packers, but it was just a weird thing where it was so hard to pick guys because, even though there are so many different team and so many different great players, it was just like, it wasn't like you had going to be great. So, and Caleb Williams is going to be solid, and it may happen, and it may happen that Caleb Williams in his rookie year could throw more touchdowns in a season than any other quarterback in Bears history because that record is, I believe, 30 touchdowns. I think that franchise record is 30. And or if it's not 30, the low 30s. I do know for a fact that it is the lowest number of any franchise in the NFL. So, even those new franchises that have come in over the last 20, 25 years, they already supplanted the Bears for most touchdowns by a quarterback in their franchise history. So, but I know the Bears have the lowest number. And Caleb Williams, even if he has a so so year and he throws 15, 20 interceptions, he probably will still have 30, 35, 40 touchdowns. It's just that what is he going to do interception wise? Because he's probably going to have a couple of good weeks. And then once you get the film on him, once you get the film, you will see that, the teams, the defensive coordinators, everything will get the tendencies and they can, Bank Boy, welcome in. Hope you're doing well out there. Um, I just think that Caleb Williams, he'll have a couple of good weeks. He'll have a couple of bad weeks, and then he'll bounce back, and we get to see how he really is as a quarterback once defenses start to figure him out a little bit. And for the most part, that is something that happens in the NFL. It's a rite of passage where you have a couple of good weeks, then you go in the crapper for about a month or two, and then you bounce back. But there are quarterbacks that never needed that. So, but you are going to see um, you are going to see some growing pains from Caleb Williams, I do believe. And if he doesn't, then then you wonder how the hell USC was 6-6 last year. But I did see this story here as well, and this is a follow up story, so to speak, from yesterday. And if you remember, I mentioned how Tua Tagovailoa was on the Dan Levitard show, and I believe, especially with the way this article today has been worded, it was a article or it was an interview where he basically roasted Brian Flores, the former Miami coach. And the one thing I will say is, and I think I even said this to SJ in an unrelated topic in her Discord, how the Gen Z, Gen whatever that they are in right now, and it is Gen Z, but you get the idea because before you know it, we're on to Gen Alpha, Omega, I felt a Thia, whatever. Well, not I felt a Thia. That was in the 70s, um, but I think the one thing is, and me originally in college for secondary ed, there's some people that respond well to negative reinforcement, and there's some that respond to positive reinforcement. And I think now, with this latest generation that's in the workforce, they are more worried about time off. They're more worried about, you know, people liking them and stuff like that. And, maybe it's because of the trophy, everybody has to get a trophy, participation trophy. You know, Me personally, all I'm worried about is my paycheck on Friday and my schedule on Wednesday at my job. You email me that schedule, boom. My paycheck on Friday, boom. Okay, I'm happy. But but I'm also up for constructive criticism. And I think SJ will tell me from time to time when she watches this whole show from time to time that she will say, "This segment was great. This segment was shit." And what the hell was that comment about Jennifer Lopez when I was asking that question? When she had to take Gracie to destroy the earth. But um but I just said, I think that Brian Flores was basically disconnected to how people are as human beings, and sometimes that negative reinforcement doesn't necessarily work. Now sometimes you do it and you're just so angry at somebody for fucking up, especially in a big game, that you're going to act like you did. It's going to happen. But Brian Flores took a conciliatory tone towards Tua Tagovailoa a day after the publication of an interview in which Tua called Flores a terrible person. Um, Flores said, "I'm genuinely happy for the success that Tua had, and I really wish him nothing but the best." Flores was the Dolphins head coach for Tua's first two seasons. From 20 to 21, he was fired in January 2022 amid speculations that his relationship with Tua was strained. And I this confirms it. The whole interview that Tua had on the Dan Levitard show and more. Um, an excerpt was aired on Monday. Um, he compared the coaching style with the current coach Mike McDaniel, and basically, you know, the way Flores was, it was uh, tearing them down and trying to build them back up. Whereas with um, with Mike McDaniel, it's like, here's all your good parts. Let's work on that and improve. Just totally different things. So So Flores responded Tuesday by speaking about Tua for much of a previously scheduled news conference that lasted nearly 17 minutes. So this took over the press conference, and this was the topic, unfortunately. Um, so safety Josh Metellus and defensive lineman Harrison Phillips flanked Flores as he began speaking, which was a show of support that Flores said meant a lot. And also, if you're going to Spain or to Mexico, say the word mucho because it means a lot to them. I'm waiting for SJ's response here. So now Bank Boy got it, but SJ didn't. Mucho, it means a lot to them. Spain, Mexico. Come on, SJ. There we go. I had to explain it to her, but it's okay. Uh, and Bank Boy can confirm that mucho means a lot to them. So, um, so Flores' voice was shaking at times. Um, he acknowledged that his coaching style might not have hit well with some players in Miami, and indicated that he has worked to improve over the ensuing 3 seasons. So maybe he's trying to improve himself just because, okay, I know why I got fired. What can I do to get back to being a head coach if that's his ultimate goal again? Um, Part of coaching is correcting. I'm always going to correct. I'm always going to have a high standard. There's no problem with that. Believe it or not, I have high standards with the show. Usually those high standards are about 6'6" off the ground so that SJ can't grab them. Uh, but uh, I don't know. What are high standards? You know, um, but seriously, and I think I've done a lot of reflecting on the situation, reflecting on the situation and communications. I think that things I could do better for sure. I've grown in that way. I've tried to apply things I could do better and the things I learned over the past 2, 3 years. Um, I would say over the long haul, I've had a great relationship over my 21-year career here in the league. Players, coaches, personnel, equipment, people in the kitchen. I mean, really around the board, I had a lot of great relationships, and I'm going to continue to do that. Um, but the one thing he did, and the coach that he replaced, that Flores replaced, um, he was Ed Donatelli was a relationship-driven coach, and one of the guys that was flanked next to um, Brian Flores, Harrison Phillips, he admitted that he was initially a little more reluctant or on edge when Flores replaced Ed Donatelli as the Vikings defensive coordinator after the 22 season. Reputation does come into play here, just like when we were talking about J Lo earlier about having more rings than the Dallas Cowboys. Um, Now, when Flores arrived, Phillips said, "I didn't know that it was going to be replicated, or if he had some of those same passions um, outside of football." As it turned out, Flores soon invited the entire defense into his new Minnesota home to meet his family, to socialize, and to eat. So, yeah, and Flores admits he's human. Um, so, Tua's comments about him being a terrible person. Um, that wasn't positive for him. But at the same time, I've got to use that and say, hey, how can I grow from that? How can I be better? And like even with me with the show, constructive criticism is good. Saying something that totally off base, obviously not. But um, so Uh, so so he did respond to that today, and uh, and I think he realized even before that that when you get fired, it's because not because of your talent as a coach, but because your your communication skills and behind the scenes stuff. And like I said, it may have been just a couple of bad days, or the end of the season. I think that they were about to make the playoffs and they didn't, so he was probably ultra pissed off. And that happens. But I think you realize that after a while, hey, this generation of football players is not the same as the ones I started out with 21 years ago. So you have to read the room because some people will respond to negative criticism and some you will lose, like what happened with Tua and Flores. So, and yeah, I think in the end, they want to keep Tua, and apparently they made the right decision with the right combination of head coach who is going to show all the good things, but still work on the bad things. Whereas the other one will burn it to the ground and try to build it back up. So, but yeah, so it should be interesting to see. But Minnesota um, does not play Miami this year, so we won't have that. But who knows if Flores is still in Minnesota next year and those two end up playing each other? Who knows? Maybe a Sunday night game or a Monday night game where all of a sudden everybody's watching the sidelines. You know, Tua's looking at Flores like that guy got me again, meh, something like that. But those things happen from time to time. And Flores said he is probably eventually going to call him, but probably not till after the season. But it's just something that you just after the fact you realize the mistake you made, and man up and do the do the right thing and talk it out with somebody. And I know SJ with some things I told her, she will probably tell me, well, why don't you do that? But there's a reason why I don't, because, you know, she knows what I mean. But anyway, um, so that's the football stories here. And, this weekend we got 4 college games all on Saturday, week 0, which should be presented by Coke Zero Sugar, in my opinion, or Pepsi Zero. Um, Florida State plays Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland. Montana State plays New Mexico. Montana State, believe it or not, is an 11.5 point favorite. Montana State is a 1AA school, um, but they did lose in the championship last year, I believe. No, they lost early in the playoffs. That's right. They lost to North Dakota State 35-34. Um, Montana State is the Bobcats. Um, they're going to New Mexico to get a little extra money for the athletics department for an appearance fee, kind of like what Delaware State is doing when they go to Hawaii until they miss their flight. Um, um, you know, so I don't think that they, you know, but we have those 4 games, and then we get into it starting on Thursday the 29th with a bunch of games on Thursday. My God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 21 games on Thursday. And the featured game of the night has got to be Duquesne and Toledo. No, I'm only kidding. North Dakota State is that team, that school over the last 5, 10, 15 years where you don't want to see them on your schedule as an FBS school, but they are going to Colorado to Grand Theft Auto Field. All right, I had that article a week or two ago about um, Deion Sanders and how his locker room is basically Grand Theft Auto. Whether it's true or not, we'll leave it for those that want to admit it. But that's a great game that they have there. Uh, but the weekend, got everybody playing on Labor Day weekend, and and SJ will be questioning me at least 3 or 4 times during the year. Why the hell are you taking UNLV? Is it because you love Vegas so much? No, it's usually because it's a 10:30 game, and I need some action at 12. I need some action at 10:30 because I'm not getting any of that other action that I would prefer to have. Uh, you know, and I'm not going to some other places. I think that was a comment to my other action I would prefer. I think that was from that, but uh, here we go again. She's clipping away here. SJ will be questioning me at least 3 or 4 times during the year. Why the hell are you taking UNLV? Because you love Vegas so much? No, it's usually because it's 10:30 and I need some action. I need some action at 10:30 because I'm not getting any of that other action that I have. Yeah, so I do have somebody who is multi-talented in the chat room tonight. Uh, I guess I can call her my senior moderator because she is my leader of the mods, and she is a champion clipper as well, as SJ did um, mention that. Uh, well, not senior as in old, but the chief muckety muck of the crew, and and if you believe, if you say, "Hey, I want A, B, and C as mods," go right ahead. I mean, you're the one who has been streaming for a few years now. Uh, don't know what that's about, but whatever. I've, the one thing is, uh, she was a mod for 25 people, and that's the thing. You know, Thankfully, I got good people that can guide me, try to get me to affiliate, so that I can make a couple of bucks on the side and see it disappear on my tax return. Um, I, you know, and it's just like anything else. You line yourself up with good people, you're going to succeed. And she is good people, and she's been a mod for a bunch of people. And you know, if she feels that 2 or 3 additional people should be mods, yeah, sure, I have no problem. Unless I totally hate the person, which you know And like SJ says, eventually, yes, I'm going to need more bots, uh, but not now because she is an expert at streaming, kicking ass, taking names, or is she kicking kneecaps because she's about 4 foot 12 or 4 foot 13? I better watch because if I end up with her in person, she may go for my kneecaps. Um, Old Man Burger, welcome in. Um, and like I said, the doctor said that SJ was 4 foot 13 inches. But don't mind me. I'm just I'm just in a real goofy mood tonight because um, I'm not going to share that one post to the screen here, so don't worry, SJ. Um, I know when to stop. I know when to not post, share certain things because you know you'll probably go you'll probably go Tanya Harding with my kneecaps. I'm not sharing it. I mean, it's going to be in the chat, but it's not something that I'm not going to put there. Like, tell it to the world. I'm not telling it to the world. I'm not posting it on this screen. I am just going to pretend I did not see it. I mean, obviously, you have a different attitude than some people, you know. And the thing is, if I were to say that you were, and now she's giving me problems here. I've sent you pics of my scale, and it's a nice scale, better than mine. It's a nice scale, very nice, or whatever Trump would say about a nice scale like that. Um, but seriously, I just think that seriously, and this is a sign of maturity. You know, some things that somebody sends privately, you don't send, you don't let the world know. You know, at least without their permission. And even if she does say that, you know, why are people so shameful? I'm not going to say that. I mean, it's already in the chat, but you don't need to have it blasted on my screen here. Um, I can look up Derrick Henry's weight and height. Well, but here's the thing. One of the few sports, well, I think there's only two sports that we publicly know a woman's weight, I think, and that's boxing and UFC because they have weight classes. WNBA, you could probably, eh, I know. I put the two together. I put this together with this, and I said, she's talking WNBA. Ah, but you know, players want to do that, then I'm okay with that. But you know, what happens if there's a WNBA player that you know doesn't like that she's, I don't know, 6'7", 230? I mean, I'm making stuff up. You get the idea. But you know, I just really think that with the general public, you know, even though you know, even though I understand why you're doing that because I mean, I hope I'm saying the right things here, SJ, because I'm not. I'm always treading lightly with certain topics because um, and SJ doesn't care, but I'm worried about I'm worried about the brand and everything, but you know, the one person that you get that doesn't care that you are 5'1" and whatever that three-digit number is. Anybody who is okay with those numbers right now and using it, I'm going to say that she uses as motivation because, okay, I'm at this weight. I've gotten this far. My goal is this weight. So, you know, it may be that you're like Bon Jovi. Whoa, you're halfway there and you're living on a prayer. And once again, I'm not posting those numbers uh, um, because, I will show that she is laughing her ass off. But I don't know how because she doesn't have an ass because she's worked it off because she works so damn hard at whatever she does. But, I really, I do think though, even though some people like SJ just don't give a shit and they'll tell you what that three-digit number is. And I've seen other people on my Facebook friends list post a number and say, I am, well, all right, fuck it, I'll tell you my weight. I weighed myself last weekend, 235, which is the range that I've been in for a while. So, but I'm trying to get down to, eventually get to the point where, all my numbers on my blood test are not in that diabetic range because technically I'm pre-diabetic. My A1C and my blood sugar, are like this much over. So, but the point is, unless somebody's sharing it publicly, I'm not sharing it. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like me admitting I'm diabetic or pre-diabetic or whatever you want to diagnose me as. You know, I mention because it's just me, but and I know SJ wouldn't do this, but let's say SJ were to tell people on her stream, "Oh, Joe's diabetic. He doesn't drink that stuff." You know, that's something different, but I still wouldn't care. But um, and SJ is crazy. I can put that up, which I just did, and she's like the little Tasmanian devil. Nah, but I think what? You're 4 foot 13. Oh, I'm sorry, 5'1". And old man Burger's right. We're all crazy in some ways. I know I am. Yeah. And SJ is laughing along here. She's not actually laughing at him, but it is a fun thing here. And that's what I try to do here with you guys is just have fun. It's a safe place. Like I said last night, we're not talking politics here, especially the next 3 months, because you say something that leans one direction, the other side of the aisle is going to be pissed off at you. So the best way not to piss off half your audience is just not talk about politics. Now we can talk about how horrible SJ's Giants are, but you know, uh, but what's political? The Giants. Uh, Mike is watching on YouTube tonight as opposed to Twitch. So SJ sees Mike's real name now. Not that that's a bad thing. He's watching on YouTube. Mike, welcome in. Um, you know, so Mike can attest that I'm fucked in the head. Some of the things that I come up with, some of the jokes. I mean, SJ, if you think my jokes are bad to you, Mike, I'm at a whole new level with Mike because I've known him for 25 years and I know that I can pretty much go no filter with him. Me, I prefer to have at least a little bit of a filter with you because, kind of like respecting the ladies, the women, you know, kind of like what I say is, I try not to curse in front of women and children, but, sometimes you slip out an F bomb or whatever. But, you know, but, I'm not going to I'm not going to give anybody a hard time with anything. But I think it just I think also with me I respect people too much from time to time. So um yeah, but I try to I just try to be a gentleman because, just the way I am. So I try to filter myself as much as possible because like I said with the show, you never know if this leads to something. I mean, maybe SJ gets a good idea about this show when she eventually goes back to streaming if she streams again. Um, I know I know SJ will have ideas for me as well. Old Man Burger might have a comment or two that would help me later on. Um, but you know, but and SJ did work in EMS, and SJ was also doing her Michael J. Fox impression. She was shaking her head. Okay, there. I went unfiltered with a tasteless comment there. So So I can really go there if I really wanted to, but I choose not to. One, because you never know when there's kids around. Two, I do want to kind of make this as professional looking as possible, even though it's very amateurish with everything that I have here. But we have fun here. That's what it's all about. So Phillies lost tonight 3-1. Mike was texting me during the show. What about Topper? And I said, the showtime at the Twitch Apollo. Um, So I will give SJ permission. I will give SJ permission whenever she starts to stream again to use the phrase, it's showtime at the Twitch Palo. And SJ is going to grab a piece of paper or she's going to pull out the notes app on her computer. Uh, she'll get the notes out. Uh, it's the year 2469. Okay, I know it's 2024. And I wrote my note on here because, see, this was my note. Red flag when seeing uh, seeing slash hearing someone engaged 6 times, married 4 times. So so Mike, since you probably weren't here earlier, I was asking um, Matt, welcome in. Man, this is all turning into just a little fun fest here. So just to let you know, since Matt walked in as well, the reason why I asked that question, especially to SJ, um, because she was here pretty much by herself on the Twitch side, and um, I was asking with that, if you saw that, and I turned it around in her perspective as a female. If you see that somebody is married 4 times, engaged 6 times, or add one or two to each of those stats there, is it a red flag to you? Are they damaged goods? And yes, we agreed in the end that um, we agreed that Jennifer Lopez, who filed for divorce today from Ben Affleck, that she is damaged goods. So, um, you know, and if but if you're married 4 times and one of them's you know, the wife passes away, then maybe as long as you don't get people making you think that, oh, you killed her, something like that. But I mean, it does turn into a it does turn into a red flag situation, or what I like to call damaged goods. So, um, I'm just taking a peek here. I do have some. I do have some breaking news out of LA, which is a bit, once again, a bit of an odd story, but it's not anything related to any of the LA pro sports teams, but um, somebody who used to coach at USC is returning to USC, and not what you think. Pete Carroll is returning to USC this spring. He's going to be teaching a class there, but didn't give any other specifics beyond that. He said, Carroll said, I'm looking forward to it. It's really going to be a really exciting endeavor when it's finalized and all that. So, but, um, but he did have an interview this week, and he is returning to USC. So, um, Mike is on his phone. Okay, so he's now switched over. Uh, Let me see. I missed some of this stuff here. So, anyways, Mike is back in Twitch. He was on his phone, so he had to restart it. Um, did he have the interview? Well, it is a teaching thing. It's not a coaching thing. So, I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's introduction to basket weaving or Madden 25 or Fortnite. But don't be that guy that got suspended for 2.9 million days, like he did last night, like I mentioned last night. So I imagine he had the interview because it's a paid teaching gig, even if it is as an adjunct professor. So some of the things I missed in chat here, definitely a red flag. Yeah, if his wife passed away, then yes, but why? Okay. Up. Um, did SJ disappear on me? Um, you can see that there is a job for you to do in the chat. I know how much you love doing it. Or do you want me to do it? Or are we going to see who does it first? Hold on. Let me figure this out again. Okay. I got it, SJ. Don't worry. Um, you know, no, I'm just catching up on things here and I saw it, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to hold it against you. It's just that it just stayed on there a little longer than it should have been. Uh, like I said, because you probably have something that you're doing. I have no problem with that because they quickly came in and that popped up for a couple of seconds. And I'm not complaining. Don't worry, SJ. You know me. At least I think you know me. I've been chill as fuck. Mike had to restart his phone, um, but he's now on Twitch. He's honoring Jim Eisenreich as well, and hopefully Mike gets that joke. Uh, Banks says hi to Matt Talica. Um, Mike says hi to SJ, and then SJ tells me one moment. So okay, so I'm caught up in the chat here. So, um, you know, and I apologize, SJ, because um, I know probably something probably came up behind the scenes, and that's fine, no big deal. But I am goofier than normal tonight because I went to bed way too late last night. Old Man Burger is old. Have a good night, man. Old Man Burger, have a great night. Thank you for stopping in tonight. Uh, you know, I'll be back on Thursday night, and we'll do it live again at 9 o'clock. But we're not closing up shop yet. We're having fun here now. Um, so, um, lost my train of thought here. Well, actually, I closed that thought, but um, so some of the things that some of you guys missed tonight, as I go through here, as I look at the thing, uh, I mentioned the pop culture news about J Lo, or as I like to call her, J Ho. Brian Flores responded to Tua. Basically, admits he screwed up. Tom Brady's top five quarterbacks are basically the same as Peyton Manning's, but Tom Brady really only gave four. He got his arm twisted for that fifth guy. I also mentioned that apparently UTSA has it out for Owls this year because they are playing four teams this year, nicknamed the Owls. They play in conference Rice, Florida, FAU, Florida Atlantic, and they also play Temple in conference. I think that's the only conference that has the same nickname at three different schools. And they also start the season Labor Day weekend against Kennesaw State, who are also the Owls. So don't know why they don't like Owls that much, but just joking around. And Delaware State missed their flight to Hawaii. They're playing in Hawaii this weekend against the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors or the Hawaii Jeff Gordons, because if you remember back in the day, Jeff Gordon's team was called the Rainbow Warriors because of the whole uh, uh, And I see that I must have stole from Jamie Foxx somehow because Jamie Foxx called her that in one of his early stand-up specials. But that was probably when she was only engaged or married twice, and not six or seven times as we have come to find out about her. But um, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think the athletic director or whoever planned this trip needs to be fired because they went because first of all, Delaware State is in Dover, Delaware, across the street from Dover Downs, aka Dover International Speedway. And for some reason, they didn't fly out of BWI. They didn't fly out of Philadelphia. They didn't fly out of Newark. They did not fly out of DC. Now, I do know for sure that obviously Philadelphia and BWI is closer to Dover than New York is. But for whatever reason, they flew out of New York, which is about a 4-hour bus ride. Now, the thing is, when the University of Delaware goes to FBS next year and they go to Philly, when they go to Conference USA, the University of Delaware, all you got to do is fly out of Philly or fly into Philly and then go down 95 a half an hour to Newark, Delaware. But, the one thing I questioned, and, feel free to comment as well for those that have come in late, wouldn't it make sense to, now granted, I don't know what the travel packages are. Maybe they got a sweet deal. Maybe Hawaii said, "Oh, we'll make you go through New York. Fuck you." But whatever they did, they were flying out of New York City, and because their bus was in traffic or some shit, they did not make their flight. So they missed their flight, and now they're trying to get everybody on that team onto a new flight to get out to Honolulu for that football game. So, um, but I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts. Well, like Billy Joel said, I may be right, I may be crazy. I just may be the lunatic you're looking for. Um, so, um, and by the way, the Cleveland Guardians are up 4-3 on the Yankees in the 12th. Um, Angels lead the Royals 7-6 after 8. Red Sox are up 6-5 in the top of the ninth. Um, Twins are up 3-1 on the Padres. Uh, SJ did not like the fact I mentioned that the Guardians are winning in the 12th. Um, Twins and Pods. Twins are up 3-1 in the 5th. Rays and A's are no score in the 5th. White Sox are down 2-1. White Sox are going for their 97th loss of the year tonight. They're 12-52 away. Mariners took a 2-0 lead on the Dodgers. Earlier games today, Arizona beat Miami 3-1. Rockies won 3-1 in DC. Blue Jays won 10-3 over Cincinnati. The Orioles beat the Mets 9-5. Brewers are pulling away in the Central. They beat St. Louis tonight 3-2. Cubs beat the Tigers 3-1, and the Pirates shut out the Rangers 4-0. And because SJ is here, all the games are final in the WNBA. Sun beat the Sparks 69-61. Uh, the Liberty Bibbities beat the Buffalo Wings, Dallas Wings 94-74. And the Storm beat the Mystics 83-77. And that's your sports report. Um, yeah, I know. I've said a couple of things about that to you. that I mean that sucks. It sucks that um, you could have been there, and unfortunately you couldn't go. And and she said it, and she's like, "Well, I'm, you know, but and that game was in Boston tonight, the Connecticut game. So that that's something we're not going to see in Philly for a few more years at the very least, because Toronto's going to have the next team in the WNBA once the team in San Francisco comes in 25, I believe, or is it 26? Because you're going to have a team in San Francisco because of the new arena, and Toronto will be the 14th team. So, and just to let you know, we do have a couple of sound drops here right now, Mike. So, sometimes we're going to have some breaking news. My personal favorite is I screwed up at the beginning of the show tonight. Or sometimes you have an accident.
You could tell it was a huge start, so much power.
Which one, Mike? The shart or the bump bumpty bump? Uh-oh. Gracie. Uh, let's get into Gracie's head right now. So, Gracie, how do you feel right now?
You could tell it was a huge start, so much power.
And I'm sure SJ did not hear that, but Bank Boy did. You know, that's the thing. I'm at my best when. Oh, and I got a new follower here. Miss Night Owl, welcome in. Hope you're enjoying this. Uh, hope you're enjoying this little fun segment. I got through all the stories I do. I'm just having fun here with you guys and just talking and stuff like that. So, welcome in. My name is Joe Quills. I'm a part-time streamer. I'm actually with Bleacher Brothers, which is a sports website, and we are going to be a digital network come September the 9th. So I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, and X all at the same time. And Wednesdays will be coming up starting the week of the 9th, probably. So once that app is available, whether you are an iPhone user or whether you're a iPhone user, an Apple, I should say, an Apple user or a Droid user, we will have you covered. So let's say you're driving from point A to point B. Let's say Mike is making that trip across state like he has a couple of times, and he wants to listen to the show, but obviously you can't watch the show for 6 hours because you're driving on I 76. You can just hook up the phone, pull up the app, listen to my show, listen to the plethora of other shows that are going to be on our network. Now, I don't know what the shows are because I'm not in the war room with the decision making is being made, but we are Bleacher Brothers. I am part of Bleacher Brothers, and I am. And Mike said "Bump Bumpty Bump" is the favorite, which is the Price is Right loser horn. And once again, it is this sound. And we do hear that at the Phillies game a couple of times when somebody strikes out, but Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania, obviously Philadelphia. So, um, glad to have you here tonight, Miss Night Owl, and hopefully, um, hopefully you have a um, pleasant experience here as we just basically shoot the crap now this time of the show because we're just having fun here. We're making fun of the fact that SJ's dog had to make a boom boom. Mike is laughing at the sound drops that I have and stuff like that, and you know, plethora is Mike's least favorite word. Well, what about Pythagorean theorem? Well, I know what many women's least favorite word is, and no, we're not talking about the c word, Mike. Um, it's a five-letter word, probably used on Wordle already. Um, just to give you a Wordle update, I did get the word in 4 words. I'm on a 35-day streak right now. Um, um, but I've been late for dinner many times. It's because of work, but we just, you know, um, I'll give you a hint. That word, that's probably one of the least favorite words of women, could be used on Wordle for those that still play that game. And actually, it is probably a good word to use as a initial word on Wordle. Now, I'll give you a hint. My word, I usually use 2 words like clockwork, but I occasionally try to swing for the fences and get it on the first word, which I never do. Um, I usually word penis and I use shark. And imagine SJ walking back in after taking the dog to do her business, and hears the words penis and shark. No wonder why I have this.
You could tell it was a huge start, so much power.
And SJ's thinking, and if SJ was here, why am I associated with this clown? But Mike's used to me, 25 years. I feel sorry for him. Uh, but we're just, that's the thing, just having fun here on a Tuesday night, and I'm also off tomorrow. So tomorrow is the final night of the Constadters Music Festival. I'm sorry, the Pennypack Music Festival at Constadters. I will be there. Um, we have a Van Halen tribute band, and they lean towards the David Lee Roth era of Van Halen. And Mike is in therapy. Um, and I hear he's in therapy at I Love Massage on North 9th Street in Chinatown, Philadelphia. No, I'm only kidding. But Mike knows about that picture because I post it a couple of times a year, and I will be using that picture left and right when Cleveland comes to Philadelphia. So, because we all know what happened with Deshaun Watson a couple of years ago and why he ended up going to Cleveland instead of being in the. And it was recommended by Robert Kraft. And if Orchids of Asia were still around, Deshaun Watson could ask for the Crafty special. But congratulations to Robert Kraft because he could still get it up as of a couple of years ago. So don't mind me. So um, so I'm just waiting for SJ to get back here. Um, and SJ did show me a picture a couple of nights ago because she has Gracie, her dog, and she has Noelle, her cat. And the cat, well, the dog was laying. I imagine the way that this took place was the dog was already laying there. The cat comes up, lays, and leans against the dog. And Ashley's like, "Oh, I gotta take a picture of this," and she showed me the picture and all that. And I'm not going to share it because I mean, but then again, with cats and dogs, you see that type of dog, you're going to see 50 dogs that are that breed and 50 breeds of cat, 50 of that same type of cat as well, that same breed. So, but like I said, right to privacy. And, you know, but it's just, uh, I'm just taking a peek at my phone here if there's anything new that came up, and there isn't. Um, but, uh, and I apologize. I'm starting to get quiet here. Um, And Mike, just to let you know, our horse did not win today at Finger Lakes. So Finger Lakes gave me the finger back, but my horse was closing at the end, and it was 4-1 on the morning line. He went off at 10-1 somehow, and yeah, the horse that won just got too far away on the turn, and my horse was closing like crazy. Well, actually, my horse finished third, but um, and SJ is back. And Mike's account is light, so sorry, man. Uh, SJ is back, and I'm front, and um, and I will let you into the mind of Gracie before she went outside.
You could tell it was a huge start, so much power.
I have a feeling SJ is going to be telling me to get rid of that drop, but we're just you know like my mom always said. I think she did say it to Mike once or twice. Um, um, she did say it to Mike once or twice. I know she said it to a couple other my friends. Uh, and probably if I was famous enough to write an autobiography, my autobiography should be "Don't Encourage Him" because my jokes have been so bad. And um, but so any other Mike can confirm that my mom did tell him do not encourage him, and but he couldn't help it. But Any other thing, any other topics you want to talk about before we call it a night here? Um, I mean, I still have my article to write for tonight, but I'm debating if I want to do an early Saratoga race, or I want to take a gamble at a different track tomorrow. Um, because the race that is being offered on Daily Racing Forum for tomorrow, the race tomorrow is the third race, so it's an early race at 2:18 post time, and it's got 9 horses in the race, but it's only going to be a field of 6 because you have 3 horses that are main track only on a turf race. Um, so, I'm debating if I want to do that or I want to look elsewhere for a race of the day like I did today. But it's hard not to it's hard to step away from Saratoga because you do have some of the top horses in the country up there, especially this week because the Travers is on Saturday, the Summer Derby. Torpedo Anna is taking on the boys in the Travers the Summer Derby, mile and a quarter. You may see a horse or two from that race end up down at Parks for the Pennsylvania Derby on September 21st. We do know that the Preakness winner, Seize the Gray, is going to be running in the Derby, the PA Derby, that is. So will be interesting to see. And uh, so, uh, if you guys got anything you want to talk about, let me know. If not, we'll close this out in about 5 minutes. But if we have additional topics, I don't have to be up tomorrow. So, um, oh, I do want to share one thing here. Um, and this came to my attention Saturday. Just want to let you know because I am part of Bleacher Brothers. I do want to share this with you here. So let me pull up this Bleacher Brothers. And I can't do it because Bleacher Brothers is down at the moment. So bleep me. So yeah, so the site's down at the moment. I don't know what happened, but the one thing is, if you're actually, I got emails as well for other specials that are not gambling related as well. But there is a promotion that dropped Saturday morning, and we were actually talking about it on Also Eligible. And you know what? Fuck it, I'll show the email. Um, so we do have a new FanDuel promotion, and let me go here. Open with. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. So just to let you know, there is a new FanDuel promotion on the Bleacher Brothers page. Let me share my screen here. So, and also before I even show this ad, um, if you do not have if you do not have FanDuel, for example, one thing I will tell you, no matter what app you see there and you want to try, just remember if you have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. I go the next level with something like that. And I tell you, like, for example, like for next week when I start breaking out the football picks, I will tell you weeks where I am not betting because it's rent week, because, you know, I don't have any, I have to pay the rent myself because I'm the only person living here. But I will tell you guys, If you're looking to open a new account, do it through one of the promotions that we have on the Bleacher Brothers page. There is a section called Bleacher Bet. If you click on that icon, which would be on the top of the screen, it will lead you to the promotions, and there's all these different casinos and games. And, also, what I would recommend is before you even go to FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, Bet365. I don't think Bet360. Yeah, Bet365 is on there. And also some of the other games like Prize Picks and other things like that. You know, always check first to see if it's available in your area, because the one thing I don't want you to do is sign up for an offer and you can't use the offer because you're in a state that doesn't allow, for example, Prize Picks. But this is the promotion that came um, to my attention when we were doing also eligible. So if you were to sign up with FanDuel using our ad, but make sure the site's back up. Now, new customers of FanDuel through our ad, and you just got to click on the link when the site's up. New customers, you bet $5, you get $200. You get $200 in bonus bets. But as they say in the infomercials, but wait, there's more. Uh, all customers will also get Sunday ticket for 3 weeks absolutely free. So, you know, and you see all the legalese on there, gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER, the different things there. So check the check the terms and conditions there as well. Um, I already have a FanDuel account. Uh, I signed up for it. Um, I think I screwed up the promotion because that's something I would do. But I did take advantage of the horse racing promotion, and I did have a winner my first time betting the horses on there. And I said, then I played America's favorite game. How the heck do I get my money out of this account? But but if you're looking for a promotion, check. If you're looking to open a new account, check BleacherBrothers.com. Check the Bleacher Bet area, and that will get you. Let me put that back on there. There we go. So just if you're looking to join, if you're looking for a little fun, but also, you know, make sure you bet within your means. I don't want you to get fiscally into trouble because of this, that, and the other thing. Um, so just want to make sure you guys are make sure that this is something you do as a hobby and not do something to get yourself into trouble with different things. So with that, we are going to call it a night. Miss Night Owl, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining the channel. Mike, SJ, Matt was here. Let's see here. Bank Boy, SJ again, SJ again. Old Man Burger was here. He left early. Uh, and also our spammer of the night. Um, and I think I got everybody. And if I miss somebody, it's not done on purpose. At least those that I'm looking, especially here, because it's mostly Twitch where we have the comments here. And I also want to thank those that are watching on YouTube, those watching on X. I think that you can. I think that that link is working still, where you can comment and it ends up on my amalgamated list of chatters. If not, we'll figure it out. So I do appreciate everybody. I'm off tomorrow for the final week of the Penny Pack Summer Series. We have a um, we have a Van Halen tribute band by the name of Romeo Delight. They lean towards David Lee Roth. I'll be there. I'll be having a blast. And I might have to break out my new sweatshirt that I bought when I was at Emerald Downs over Memorial Day because I had the windows open. And excuse my French, but it's fucking cold. I can only imagine what it's like up there in Connecticut, SJ. So thank you everybody for joining me tonight. We're on a 46-hour break or so. We'll do it live again on Thursday, and we'll get you ready for the weekend. And who knows? And also Saturday at 10 a.m. Also eligible. We'll look at the Travers, and maybe we sneak a race from Parks in, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be straight Travers, straight Saratoga on Saturday, and we'll do it live tomorrow, Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So thank you everyone for joining me. Um, take advantage of those offers from BleacherBrothers.com. If you have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. So once again, BleacherBrothers.com for all your sports needs. I'll figure out the article late tonight because I don't have to get up tomorrow. So have a great night, everybody. We'll do it again on Thursday. Good night, everybody.